let's dive into a little Saturday afternoon lunch preparation session. I'm gonna get the stovetop ready to go here, and today I think we're gonna dive into some ground turkey, and pretty much my main go-to meal is tacos. So we got a little taco seasoning, we got a little ground turkey, we got some low carb tortillas here. I haven't actually checked all like the macros for a while on this, so I think we'll go through that as well today and kind of just share with you what I'm eating on a little Saturday afternoon. Of course, we got to have some cheese with it here. Yeah, what I'm eating on a Saturday afternoon after a little leg day at the gym. Going to make up some lunch, and then we got some other plans. So we're gonna dive into this here together and see. We got ground turkey. I don't normally look at this, I guess. Let's see, 4 ounces of ground turkey, 27 grams of protein, 0 grams of carbs, 1 gram of fat. So the turkey's gonna be extra lean today. 120 calories. I'm gonna have to like put all this stuff up somewhere. So 4 ounces. We're gonna have 2 servings of that probably today. So 8 ounces of that. We got a pound of turkey here. I typically have about 2 of these, and half a pound, not quarter pound each. Half a pound of ground meat. So we'll get that going. This will give me 2 meals here basically of tacos. So that's going to be our main source of protein there. So I feel like that's a pretty good start. Something I've seen lately is that like your grams of protein, if you add a 0 to it, should be less than your calories for like a good clean source of protein. So if we got 27, we're gonna double it there. So I'm not good at math. What is that, like 56? No, that doesn't make any sense. 54 grams of protein for the beef or turkey, which is 240 calories. We got 3 grams of protein, 15 carbs, which most of it's fiber here, so only 3 net grams of carbs in these tortillas, 60 calories each. So I like to get the low carb ones there because then we're not loading up on too many extra calories. So does that bring my total up here? I'm going to try to put some of this on the screen as well, but if we have 2 of these, that brings me to 60, 120, and then it was 240 for the turkey. My brain just stopped working for a second there. So 240, 360 or 360 calories. No, can that be? Is turkey really that low in calories? Did I read that right? I have to double check. 120 gram. Wait, turkey's kind of amazing. So 240 plus 60 plus 60 gives me, what did I say that was? 360. And then we're gonna add some cheese to it, obviously. Let's see, 1 ounce or a quarter cup of cheese, 110 calories, 7 grams of protein. So do 2 servings of that. So it's another 220 onto the 360. So a lot of our calories actually, cheese is almost more calories than the meat. That's kind of crazy. So 74 grams of protein in, what did I say that was? 580 calories for 2 tacos. Plus, I guess we'll add the 15 calories for this. So like 600 calories for 70 something grams of protein is pretty damn good. So I eat this a lot. Usually though, I'll use ground beef or ground bison, which still not that bad. I guess bison's 190 grams of, or 190 calories for 23 grams of protein. So not quite as lean, so it's a little bit heftier, but yeah. I'm eating these tacos like probably 6 times a week at least. But yeah, I haven't ran the macros in it for that in a while, but pretty damn good. Trying to eat extra high protein as I'm trying to cut down, shred up a little bit here in the gym. I've been very consistent in December, and I've been pretty happy with that, getting back into the swing of things again. And I want to bring you along for a lot of the details, a lot of the journey that I'm on here with it. So bringing you into the kitchen here as well, because although this meal is pretty straightforward and high protein and whatnot, I do have a Baja Blast here, which is 280 calories. Holy shit. With 0 grams of protein and whatnot. So I've definitely got some things I need to still work on. Some weak points for sure that need improvement, but you know, a real basic, delicious ground meat taco without too much extra shit on it is a great place to start. I don't know how I haven't realized this before, but there's one bottle of Mountain Dew literally has more calories in it than all of the meat in these 2 tacos, with none of the benefit. Normally I drink the 0 sugar Baja Blast, not the full strength, but is an impulse buy at the checkout at the grocery store. So yesterday I was going to take you along for a little round of golf that I went and played. It was about 60 degrees out. It was a pretty nice day, but ended up playing with a random group. Didn't bring my cameras with me, and not today we got snow. So I'm going to do a little work in the office here. I've been trying to get this area set up to be able to do some more commercials, some more product, photo, video type stuff. And right now I've got a huge mess here in the office, and I want to start working on fixing that. So I'm going to do some rearranging of some things here and hopefully get this area a little bit more better set up for doing some commercials and stuff, and figured it'd be kind of fun to bring you along, show you what I'm working with, and see what we can come up with for a new layout. Test, test. Okay, so we got a little new setup here in the office. This is kind of a setup I would use for a talking head interview style setup. Something I would use for vlogs or potentially some kind of commercial voiceover, any kind of talking head type thing, I guess. But yeah, I just wanted to set this up, try it out a little bit here. I've got a nice light in the background. I've got the microphone boomed out here in front of me to hopefully get much better quality audio. The nice backdrop here with, I have two different versions of paper I can put in the background. But this is one of the things that I actually enjoy the most about, kind of videography and filmmaking type stuff is playing around with all the gear I have. I'm a huge gear nerd, I guess you could call it, with all the lights, the microphones, setting different things up. I got, cables all over the place. I'm thinking of different ways I could improve this setup here. Already found an idea here where I could create some kind of 3D printed mount to hang my audio interface up to my light stand here, so that I've got everything sort of a little bit easier to recreate and reset up. And the whole idea of having it simple to set up so I can set this up, film what I want, and kind of go from there is really cool. But I also kind of like the challenge of, like, every time I want to set up the camera, having these different things to go through, because to me that's a big part of the fun. So I think what I'm going to do here, as well as go and get my other camera set up here and my microphone, and show you how I set this all up, I guess, in a quick little summary of what it looks like in the background. So if I take my other camera here, I've got the DJI Action 5, is something I use for filming more behind the scenes in the gym, whatever else it might be. And I take my DJI microphones, which are Bluetooth here. So I can take one of these guys out, which is really cool, and then I can remember, I think it's this blue one here, is hopefully already connected up. So if I turn this camera on and plop this guy, a little magnet goes under my shirt here. Once this camera turns on, it should automatically connect up, and now I have audio coming from this camera as well. So this is the view that I see here of the office, which I think is kind of cool to see it from multiple perspectives here. We got the microphone shotgunned out right in front of me here, the Rode NTG, NTG2, I want to say. And then got the nice light up here to light up my face. We got the camera here, obviously, which is what we're recording on. And then we've got the audio running from the microphone here. I did put a nice little light in the background here, hopefully to give a little bit of light coming up behind my back there. Just messing around with that a little bit. And then I've got the shotgun mic running through the XLR into the audio interface. This is where I think I could really use a 3D printed mount that would maybe go right on the vertical pole of my light stand here to kind of mount this up to, because this device does need USB power, which I actually have coming from my desk over here. And then we got the 3.5mm auxiliary that runs all the way down and around over to the camera here. Now for this, I do have to kind of close the blinds a little bit and turn off the rest of the lights to get sort of this look that I was going for here. A little bit darker, so that the background's kind of dark, my face is lit up. You may be able to see a little bit of this light behind me, maybe not all that much. But yeah, this is kind of the behind the scenes setup of what I would use for a situation like this. So, part of the reason I wanted to set this all up is because I was planning to film this segment yesterday out on the golf course and, sort of use the on-the-go behind-the-scenes setup. But lately, through this week of Christmas, having some extra time off and whatnot, I've been doing some different activities, golfing, going to the gym, all those kind of good things, and just had, a bunch of extra time lately to think about some stuff that
kind of good. Like end of the year, I feel like is always a good time to reflect on how the year went, different things like that. But it just kind of made me realize lately that, even though there's some things that may be sort of difficult to process, difficult to handle throughout the year, especially lately, like I spent a lot of time by myself for the holidays and whatnot, which, at the end of the day was not too big of a deal. It was kind of nice to get to relax and do the things I wanted to do throughout. Got 3 rounds of golf in a week here in Colorado in December, which I thought was pretty cool. But just kind of a reminder for me to be very grateful. Like I'm very fortunate in my current situation in life with all the things I've got going really well for me. Super supportive family and friends that are alongside with all the positives that I've got going on. They're here to celebrate with me as well as kind of help talk through some things that are not always as easy to handle at times. So it's been just kind of a really good reminder the last week or so here to reminder that things are great. There's some tough times for sure, but important to kind of remember those positive things, and that honestly my life's pretty fucking awesome right now. So I'm very grateful for that, and I've got a lot of good people around, and fun stuff that I get to do all the time. So I'm pretty happy for that, and wanted to kind of set this camera setup and get a little playing around with the background and stuff I got here, and have a little message as well for some positivity in the moments like that. So that may have actually been the first time my battery died on my camera when I was filming a clip like this. So I was just saying at the end there that this would be the same type of setup that I would use if I were filming product commercials, which is something that I'm working on getting more prepared for here in the new apartment. So I want to get a little toolbox that will have a nice wooden top here that I can set up in front of the backdrop and shoot product commercials, promo videos, that kind of stuff for the different brands and things I work with throughout the year. And yeah, my battery died on the camera. So switching back over to Bcam here. That's going to do it for today. I really hope you enjoyed coming to hang out with me for this weekend. A little bit of a random assortment of things, but would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks for coming to hang out. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully you'll see you again real soon.